Hello and welcome to the TMC Newsroom. My name's Rich Tehrani. Thanks for watching us today. We're in Silicon Valley, in San Jose specifically, and on our program is Nik Rouda, who is the Director of Product Marketing at Riverbed. Hello, Nik.
Hello, Rich. How are you doing today?
Great. Thank you so much for coming down and visiting us here.
It's my pleasure to be here.
So I thought it might make sense to start out talking about your company and what you're up to lately.
So Riverbed does WAN optimization. We help companies overcome the bounds of distance when they are trying to do computing over a wide area network. So that could be accessing your email, it could be application performance for a broader range of web-based applications, or it could come in handy for projects like disaster recovery where you need to move a lot of data a long distance so that it's there safe when you need it.
And in terms of the market, how have you seen it evolve over the last couple of years?
WAN optimization market's definitely been maturing. A lot of people have really started to understand how dependent they are on the wide area networks to have access to their servers, their applications, their data. And a lot of the trends that are going on right now, actually WAN optimization plays squarely into addressing the performance for them. They could be things like consolidation and virtualization, where you're trying to remove servers from branch offices and bring them back into a data center. Well, you've moved then those IT resources further from the end users that rely on them. If you can accelerate the network performance, you can greatly improve the productivity and give them local-like access. Other things, disaster recovery always remains a priority for customers. Being able to replicate their data to a disaster recovery facility, being able to protect things comprehensively, more frequently, and more reliably, less expensively is a lot of value of what WAN optimization brings to DR. And the third area we see as a big initiative for us is really around cloud computing, as companies are trying to do private cloud initiatives or looking now into public cloud performance and what they can address there.
So we're in a situation right now where companies need more bandwidth. Bandwidth is getting less expensive, but not necessarily cheap in every part of the world. So are you finding that there is more of an interest outside the U.S., or is it?
Actually, we have huge demand around the world. Bandwidth may be getting a little bit less expensive, but the volume of data and the reliance on the network is growing at the same time. You have a lot of new initiatives like voice over IP, desktop virtualization being served at a distance, web-based applications. All of these are actually putting a lot more strain on the wide area network than we had previously. So if people can more efficiently use that resource, there's a great return on investment. In fact, IDC surveyed our customers, and they found on average 6.9 months to payback time and a 3-year ROI of 457%. So just based on real-world customers, how have you saved money by deploying WAN optimization versus purchasing additional bandwidth?
Well, those are staggering numbers, aren't they?
They really are phenomenal, and it's great to see that represented from real-world customer results.
And if I'm not mistaken, the customer will also continue to achieve savings after they've installed and deployed, because assuming bandwidth usage is going to increase as well. I don't know if that's factored into the IDC numbers, but it's quite interesting that once you have the product installed, you can leverage it going forward, right?
Absolutely. It's a huge part of it. And again, as customers are adopting new technologies like take private cloud computing, where they're taking consolidation, virtualization, adding in some process automation to the extreme, then being able to deploy WAN optimization into that is going to give them great cost savings there.
Sure.
One thing we're doing to support that, actually, we're announcing the virtual Steelhead product coming out today. And our Steelhead appliances have been great sellers. They've really helped customers in a wide range of environments. But nowadays, customers are really trying to go purely virtual in some scenarios, or in other cases, a physical appliance might not well fit. Either they need it to be ruggedized for extreme battery, think military use cases or mobile command posts, or space might be a limitation, as in like a mobile news crew. The van only supports so much equipment.
Right.
The virtual Steelhead's actually going to address a lot of that. And one customer example is Paul Hastings, is one of the largest law firms in the U.S. They have already virtualized 80% of their servers. It's part of a big green initiative they have run right now. Being able to deploy WAN optimization, the virtual Steelhead, directly into that environment fits squarely with what they're trying to do. And as their lawyers are collaborating around the world, as they're sharing email, as they're sending large documents back and forth, they're discovering that having a virtual Steelhead fits seamlessly with their existing Steelhead appliance deployment, but works seamlessly with their management structure they want to have in place.
Well, that's really interesting.
Absolutely.
What's next for the company?
So we see cloud computing rising up quite a bit, not just in virtual private or private data centers, but also in public cloud computing environments. We have a lot of new product coming in that space that will address the performance concerns around public cloud computing. Obviously, people think about security, they think about how available is a particular vendor service going to be. And then once they get into it, they face the questions of how do I migrate all this data to the cloud?
Right.
How do I avoid being locked in once it's there? How could I migrate it somewhere else?
Sure.
Could I get it back? And what kind of performance are people going to experience? Is, we're now adding more distance between our data center and the public cloud or our end users and their applications. So a lot of development underway there. Another hot area we see a lot of today is disaster recovery, where customers need to protect their data. They need to replicate their storage. Wedbush said this was the #1 IT spending priority in 2010. As the volumes of data grow, how do I get that data to another location? Of course, we don't make the storage, we don't make the replication or backup software, but we do make those pipes, the wide area network that's transferring the data, so much more efficient. Oftentimes we see customers get 4-to-1 to 8-to-1 or higher data reduction ratios, meaning that they can run 5 times or 10 times as much data on the same network they have today, and they don't have to do that expensive bandwidth upgrade you talked about, while still protecting all their data in their environment. A great example of that is GTE Federal Credit Union down in Florida that was able to protect both its NetApp SnapMirror replication and its EMCS RDFA replication, and protect the entire environment where they're able to achieve a recovery point objective of only 20 minutes. So they won't lose financial transactions that could happen there.
Sure, that's great. Well, thanks for being on the program, and I'm looking forward to having you back in the future to tell us about your successes.
Great, thank you, Rich.
Thanks.
Appreciate it.